Hi everyone. Let's get started with the Bitcoin. This is weekly on Bybits. So I have different flavors or representation for Bitcoin chart at different scales. This one is on Bybits. This is what we were tracking earlier when it was giving tough time. A big picture. So let's recap a bit and then go look at the lower time frame. So this was the first sign where it was bending and looking for a correction. And then these were the 2 weeks where it corrected, and all these weeks were sideways movement or range bound movement where this was the low and this was the high, 40 around 42k. So the low was around 29k. And like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, this is the 10th week. And for last 10 weeks it has been moving sideways in a specific range. This was the most important points where it tried to go down, and support helped us here bouncing Bitcoin. And this was a failed attempt, but this was pretty successful. Now if you look at the week 2, this is the first week where, I mean, first time where we are seeing the back to back week is green. Not just green, but a good solid candle, right? Not like this kind of candle, right? But a very promising one. So now you see it has covered the whole entire range. Last weekend lows was um, this at the bottom, very critical time, and now we are sitting on top. Today it's down by 2%, but that doesn't matter as far as big picture is concerned. And we're going to look at lower time frame as well, but on a weekly this looks rock solid. So we were talking about, let's say if the support is broken, then we were preparing for potential action here, where the price could have gone down a bit and then could have been bounced from this range, right? But we didn't have to see that, which is good thing. Otherwise we were prepared. So if you look at it, the price has been moving under this channel. This is the, if you draw this line, it aligns pretty well and it gives you the top. And now this is like, just you can say this bounced off or rejected from this channel. And then what you could do is, I can do one more thing. I could just extend this one. See, there are many representation you can think of. I would just extend this channel, and then you can say this is heading for a channel, this line. So eventually it has to touch this line, right? The way it is moving, I don't see any downside risk. First of all, if the incoming days, if does something silly, we'll see. At this moment there's no need to think. I'm talking about big picture here, not every day's price movement, right? Because this call is also on a trend, not about what is happening today. Okay, so this is, it's not just going to ignore this level. This is a resistance level. It was like, if you go, this was the point of rejection here, here, here. So now it has returned back. It's going to take some time, consolidate here, little retracement that you see, which is but natural. So I don't think that there's a point of concern for anyone. Shouldn't be, I mean. And then eventually I'm expecting it to break above. Again, it can, what we don't know is how it will move from here. What we don't know, how big candle it creates and so on. But in a longer run, we can expect it to hit this line. Now it all depends on the speed of the price movement. So if it is fast enough, then it might hit this one, 80k, you know by August end. Or if it is, I mean, this is the best case scenario, this aggressive. But usually Bitcoin doesn't do that. It is not a coin which makes such a huge move, make such huge move. So to be more practical, month of September, October, you know, maybe September, we should see Bitcoin somewhere in this range, which is not so far actually. Okay, so this is based on channel. Okay, as I said, there are different ways to look into the same chart. This is one flavor. Okay, so this is looking good. People are too sensitive sometimes about price movement, and I kept on saying that don't try to judge every day. I mean, unless you have free time, you know. It's not like if there is rain shower, you cannot say it's monsoon has begun or something like that. Or if there is one fine day, if there is heat wave, then you cannot say that's summer or something. Point is, focus on trend, not just one off move or behavior. We have seen weekly here on a previous one, so I'll go down further on a daily scale. You are all familiar with all these support levels. These support levels help us immensely because all this rejection and support were actually in line with all the supports that were given earlier, not just once but multiple times. If you look at recently, this was the dome that we were talking about earlier, that we wanted this dome to be broken. This pattern has to be broken, and there is always a range because if the pattern starts from here, right, it could have been, it could have gone up from here, but it failed. Then this level S4.4, you see it tried to defend, it failed. Then this level came in light, and then it failed, and so on. And there were a couple of attempts as well. If you look at this, there were a couple of attempts to break above, but then not able to break above from this level, and then made another low, and so on. 2928, there was the level given on that day when we had a Zoom call. And then we know what happened. After that, there is no look back, it is just moving up. Now what you see here is the first correction actually since this day. So July 21st, today is what, July 31st, last day of the month, right? Now up 10 days, right? So 9 days it moved up. And if today it's down by a little, I don't mind. It has done its job, because this bounce is not just ordinary bounce. This bounce actually is end-to-end bounce, right from the bottom all the way to the top. When I say top, means I'm talking about the range that I mentioned earlier, that 42k is the upper range and the 29k is the lower range under which price has been moving for last 10 weeks. So from that point of view, lower to upper, the one move, if you look at it, so it makes sense for it to react near here. So it reacted, major reaction near the channel, which also makes sense because it has to break above this downtrend. So this channel is kind of a descending channel if you look at it. And if you draw this dot line that you see here, then of course there is resistance that you're expecting here, and that's what we have observed here. Like it spent a lot of time here. If you drill down even further at a lower time frame, you would see that there is a congestion here. Maybe we can have a quick look at a 4 hour to see that. You see the congestion here. It got rejected here, pull back, rejected here, sorry, retraced here, again try to climb up and all. Yesterday I summarized under the trend channel by dates how it was trying to consolidate here and break above. And now what we see here is, again it touched this S4.1 in a nice move. Now it broke above S4, right, which is awesome. Now it broke above S4. Earlier it tried, failed, and then now this is successful attempt. Now it is now resting on S4. If you look at it, there were a couple of touch here, and this is all totally fine, right? Totally fine. It's consolidating just above S4. Now sometime it can re-enter in this level, which is also fine, because that's not a point of concern. If it comes down to this level, 33K kind of a level, then yeah, then I think something serious, then it's not good. But we are way above this kind of a level, and if it happens, we'll see, right? So the point is, so if it moves in certain range, you're not going to bother. Okay, you're not going to judge. I mean, it's up to you. As I said, if someone has free time to, take additional tension or trouble, then it's a choice. Those who are mature, knows the big picture, knows understand the trend, would just not bother with this moment. Okay, so I'm sure everybody will learn as well. It's not easy, and sometime even if this move is good to me, it's this is excellent actually, not just good, because not just from price action, I this is not how I see things. uh, to me, 9 days of consecutive move, even this 10th day, it's not going down, it hasn't broken previous day's low and so on. So, and day is not over, right? So if you look at this back to back movement, it's awesome actually, not just ordinary, it's awesome. So if somebody is expecting huge pump from BTC, I think that's unrealistic. Okay, this is how Bitcoin moves. Okay, if you look at the history, okay, if you look at candle, there are very few candle where you will see a giant move. Maybe this was a Tesla move, yeah, I remember when the Tesla bought. But the point is, if you look at this one, Bitcoin was never exciting in terms of price movement. You see, do you see any huge candle? No, there's no huge candle. You will find one odd candle like this, right? But this is how it behaves. So no need to judge Bitcoin in a way. This is as good as it could be. I mean, so I'm pretty happy with what Bitcoin is doing. There's nothing to comment about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong about it. This is awesome. Okay. So with that note, I would say we saw the weekly. Everything looks good. We are seeing the daily here. It's resting here. 47070 is another level. If those who remember, like a couple of months ago, I mentioned that the around 29-30K level is the most important level when it bounced from here. The second most important level is 42K where we stand, and the third most important level is 47-48K range. And to be precise, now we have more precise number, which is 47070, which I shared yesterday. Now this is the next level where you can expect it to hit and then react, and that's how it will it will make progress. And you will see that there will be, of course, there'll be kind of retracement from here, and then again, consolidation around this 47-48K level, right? Because that's the next major resistance, and from there onwards it will try to go into 60K level and so on. We'll see. Right now we don't have to get into that, but this is how it will make progress. Again, there is a huge cluster of resistance, so this going zone is going to be very heavy in terms of resistance, and we'll see when it reaches there, right? So so far this is very good news for us, because this is just out of this mess, and especially this is way, you know this is far from the low or risk level. So first of all, no, unless someone wants to take additional pressure, may take it, but this is not the time where you think about downside or think about breakdown, right? That's my take. So I would say simply enjoy. Okay. And if it, as I said, if it does something silly, because you never know, this is like, see, in world event, you never know, something could happen, something comes up, things change. And as in when things change, will analyze. So I don't believe in saying we are bull, you know let's 100K not going to go down. Yeah, I mean, these are silly things. I mean, anything can happen. Point is, we are always prepared, and my goal is always to be a step ahead. Okay, though I have projections, there's no harm in doing projections. I can project at a higher level, whatever level you want. I have done it and shared, in fact, so we can do it, and that's not a problem. But when I talk about where we stand, what's the next level, that matters the most. So 47K, this level 47070 is the next level where we are expecting resistance. And when it reaches there and starts moving up, then we'll talk about the next one around 60K maybe, and so on. So that way it's like we are securing in level, in a stepwise, and track Bitcoin that way. So that's the best way. And in between, anything, does I mean anything goes wrong, then again we reassess and see what it's trying to do, and so on. Right, so that's more pragmatic approach rather than stating anything for far-fetched future. We don't do that. There's no need to. Okay, so this is good enough. I think we covered this part, right? And I think I had this bigger view also, right? I had shared with you all. um, it's on my Twitter background as well, if you have noticed this picture. So as per that picture, this is also showing, this is fine now, showing around 47K range, right? Which is also in line kind of with what we are saying as far as next resistance is concerned. This is totally different method, right? Totally different method. I have few flavors here, so sometimes it's always good to see different perspectives, from different perspectives. So I had shared this with you earlier. This is a beautiful chart, in my opinion, because it covers major. If you look at rejection, support, support, rejection, support, rejections, support, then support, rejection, and then so on. Cluster here, and then rejection, and then a big support here. So beautiful. I mean, I think not just here but also here I see rejection, support, support, rejection, support, rejection, support, support, and then it broke down. And even here, if you actually zoom in, even this one is support. So even this one is actually landed here, and then rejection, 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 and then so this chart has everything. And it's like yeah, it's like a map to me. And as per that, this one, right, we are expecting it to react around 47K, and then once it breaks above, then we should expect around this region. And it all depends on how fast it travels, as I mentioned earlier. So far so good. So far so good. Everything is good right now. We cannot expect better than this. Okay, last few days, amazing. Right, so this ends the Bitcoin analysis. I'll open a channel online for your questions.